Hey, good morning. So it is the Saturday after Christmas. Kind of a nice day. I forgot how much I enjoy the day after Christmas. Just quiet, get to sleep in a little bit. Hey, I hope you had a wonderful, just outrageously fantastic Christmas. I had a good time. You know, Christmas Eve I spent time at my sister's with my niece and my nephew. Actually, my nieces and nephews, and there are hundreds of thousands of kids. It was just tremendous. I'm gonna say there was probably 12 kids there. It was just, probably more. There was just kids everywhere. We had such a good time, and I hope you had a good time as well. And just want to spend a few minutes with you as I wait for my niece to come, and my sister again. We're gonna jump in a van, and we're all gonna head out to my mother's, up to the Poconos in PA. My mom's 84, so she refused to come to Thanksgiving or Christmas because of COVID. So we're gonna drive up there and spend some time with her. And that should be great. I love the Poconos, it's a great area. As I wait, I wanna share something with you and prepare you. I've been speaking about this partner I'm gonna take on my business. Her name's Yvette, and she is a psychology major when we were in college. And she's just a brilliant lady, and she is a life coach, and I'm gonna say more than that, she's a personal performance coach, and more than that, I'm gonna say she's a mind coach. And we're gonna partner up and do some business together. You know, I've always said I am a fantastic mortgage banker, consumer lender, retail branch, sales designer, a sales funnel, consumer lending, whatever it is when it comes to financials, lending, and sales. Man, I'm good. I really, and I know that's a lot to say, but when you're gifted by God in something, it's hard not to notice, and I'm just proud, and I'm happy to do that work, and I'm excited for this year coming up. I got a lot of big things planned. I'm excited. If you're one of my clients, be excited. And yet, there was a part that I felt was kind of missing in my business as I was working, because a lot of times we'll have the best laid plans. There's that saying, right? The best laid plans. But there was a lot of training and a lot of investment that other trainers and other consultants had done with organizations, and a lot of brilliant CEOs brought in Dale Carnegie and a lot of stuff. Relationship selling. There's just so much that you can empower your team with. And yet, I don't know if you know this, but about 20% of the material after any training session, 20% of the material is about what your team walks away with within the first 15 days. And about 5% they'll remember after the first 30 days. And then you don't even want to know what happens as you get to 45 and 60 and 90. It's kind of, a piece of paper they find in the drawer. And that investment of $45,000, $50,000, $60,000, it's kind of blown. And though the process was wonderful and the team building was wonderful, it didn't have that sticking power. And there's a number of reasons, right? There's a number of reasons. First and foremost, I find a lot, and it's not anyone's fault, it's just there's a disconnect. A lot of the sales training isn't in alignment with the product. It's probably in alignment with the culture, because nowadays they're smart enough to sit and talk to you about culture. But there's not an alignment between the product and service, the talent of the sales team, and then the sales process. So a lot of times these people will come in and they'll give you their sales process and their tricks and their nuances and what they know about sales. But they never really look at what you're doing, and no one's ever made a commitment to change. And a lot of times an organization is so wedded to the way they do business that, you can come in and talk about relationship selling, and you could talk about your value proposition and your elevator speech and why you're there, and you can do that. But if no one's willing to change, if the organization isn't willing to look at their sales process, their sales funnel, their product, their services, their alignment of all of that, it's going to fail. There's one more piece, and it's a piece that I'm committed to this year, because it's a piece that I personally had to walk through. I've had a very, very tough year, as everyone did, and I'm thankful, because I'm building this beautiful business out of it, able to help more organizations, help more people. But one of the things that kind of hurt me a little bit was I failed to look inside, and I failed to look at the things that I was sabotaging my own life, or things that were out of step, or maybe really negative self-thought, and allowing my self-conscious to kind of run away with itself and bring me down a path. I would be really good for a couple of days when I could use my self-will to keep myself in a real positive and growing way. But the minute I let up, my subconscious came flying in, and a lifetime of like negative paths in my mind would just come right back. And I'd find myself like, wow, man, why am I here? How are we here? And I've learned because of my partner, she's working with me and teaching me, like, well, it's because you got this thing playing, you got this movie playing in the back of your mind, you're totally unaware. It's called your subconscious. And it's from when you were a little kid, things that might have happened when you were little all through your life. And what happens now, Leon, is that movie is just constantly playing. And the minute you let up, it's like a movie. You go to the movies and you're watching this movie, and that's your subconscious, and it's constantly playing, and you're unaware. And once in a while, your commercial will come. And that's kind of been my will, my self-will, right? I'll jump in with this self-will, and hey, I'm going to go down this path, and I'm committed to this, and man, I'm good. When I'm good, I'm good. But the minute you're watching a TV show, and the minute that commercial's over, you immediately go right back to the movie that's playing. For me, that was my subconscious. And it's something I'm working through, and it's having a tremendous impact on my life. And I want to encourage you, if you're in a place where you want to take your self-will, and you want to take your goals and your dreams and what you want to accomplish, and you've noticed you've done things and you've moved forward, but there just seems to be this consistent thing pulling you back that we're completely unaware, but you recognize now it's not who you are, it's not who you want to be, but you just have this negative thing. That likens it to a train hooked to your back, and you're running down the path as fast and hard as you can, but then you got this train pulling you, and that's your subconscious just pulling you back. I'm working on that, seeing tremendous changes. I'm going to make this offer within my organization, within my clients, and my sphere of influence. If you would like this kind of help, if you want professional mind help, if you want to be able to take that train of your subconscious that's pulling you in a direction you don't want to go in your conscious, reach out to me, whether it's by phone or direct message. I want to get you that help. Likewise, with my business clients, it's a mandatory must that we address this. And here's why. Remember, we talked about that sales training and your team, and it just never seemed to click 24 months out. That's because you've never looked at the subconscious or the thought process or the inner man or inner woman of your team. Why are they showing up? I was in a sales training once, and Dale Carnegie once asked, not Dale Carnegie, but their rep, hey, why are you here? What's your purpose? Why do you show up? And man, I was horrified. I was the director of sales and lending, and here's what they said. People said, I want to make money. I want to help the company do well. I want a new car. One person said, I want to retire my husband. I want to make enough money my husband can retire. There was just a lot of answers that were surface, right? Those were the answers that you want to hear, and people clapping, yeah, right, great. The thing that was missing, right? So we had just built out, I'd spent 5 years building out a financial wellness, 4 pillars of financial wellness, and how we can help people in their life to increase their wellness of their home, right? If you want to fix a relationship, you want to fix a household, you want to fix how things are within a home, I know nobody wants to hear it, but the home can't be financially sick. When a home is financially sick, things just fall apart. It's hard to work on your relationships and your children. It's hard to go to their school events. It's hard to go on date night. It's hard to do things if your home isn't in order. And I don't mean you have to be rich, but you have to look at your household cash flow. You have to know that there's some kind of savings for protection. If that was done right over the last couple of years, this pandemic wouldn't have been what it was. You have to look at protection. If that had done right, people wouldn't be losing their homes and their cars. The government wouldn't have to be going through these tremendous Herculean efforts to try to keep the people in their simple apartment. There's things that could have been done. And finally, the last piece, which is knowledge of holistically all those things coming together. And so the answers for me is I show up every day because I want to make a difference. And what I mean by that, and I don't mean it in a way where I want to rescue the world, but for me, when I can help an organization align their product, services, sales funnel, and now the psyche of their team in alignment, where your team is showing up going, thank God, I love my job. I make a difference in the community in a way I never thought I could. When I look or now hear from my members or my customers or my clients, and I see the difference I'm making in their home, when I see that I'm protecting them, when I see that I'm putting on a path to get the family vacation from the Jersey Shore to Disney or to Europe or Bermuda, when I see that they're able to get a home that fits everyone, when I see that everyone is a little more relaxed because there's protection in that home, and people know that they're safe, and dad who's in the union who gets laid off in the summer or gets laid off in the winter, we know we're okay, we have protection. I show up because I make a difference. When people say I want to make a difference, yeah, we want to make a difference because of that altruistic goodness that we want to do to help the other man and the other home. But I have to tell you, when we say that also selfishly, it's because when I make a difference, it feels great. It feels great. You know, when I volunteer and I go help somebody. Yesterday I drove a man to Tom's River who had to go to his brother's for Christmas. Didn't have enough money to get gas and a car, and how is he going to get there? How's he going to get back? And I said, hey dude, let me take you. It's a half hour there. Call me. I'm not doing anything. I'll pick you up. I'll bring you back. Hey, I'm not doing anything. You know, when that man jumped in my car and I drove him down to Tom's River, and he got out and he went into his family's home, I have to tell you, I felt way better than he did. Man, I was just joyful and happy, and I was singing Christmas carols on the way home. I was excited. And I felt good because I knew I had helped him, and the smile and his brother gave me like that thumbs up, gave him a hug, and brought this man in their home. And that man was struggling, and that made me feel good. But it also made me feel good in my soul, in my heart, in the way that I am. You know, there's two books I read a lot, and in one of the books it says that until I've learned acceptance, until I've learned that the way things are exactly the way they need to be, I'll never know happiness, and I'll never be whole. And that the way things are is exactly the way they're supposed to be. I have to tell you, sometimes this year things were horrific, and it was just a disaster, right? And I carry this book, right? So my new coach, she has me write down the way I'd like things to be, the way things are, and what I see. Where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years? What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? And I do that, and it's a big help. The other book, though, that helped make sense of that says this: all things work together for the good, for those that love him and are called according to his purpose. Then it made sense, right? Then it made sense. Hey, things are the way that they are because that's how they are. And it is what it is. And it's exactly the way it's supposed to be, for whatever reason. Even if there was some self-sabotage, even if your subconscious has caused something, it is what it is. The way you're built, it's a lifelong of the way that it is. But the other book says, all things will work together for the good. So the other book says, yeah, it is what it is. That book's right. You have to accept that things are the way that they are. However, you know, if you're called according to his purpose, and you're obedient, and you do the next right thing, all things work together for the good. So that crazy situation where you're like, this cannot be accepted, this is not acceptable, that thing will work together for your good and for those around you. Hey, so I just wanted to take that moment to share with you that I'm opening up January. January 1, we're going to open up this other service of this. Not really just life coaching, but it really is more of a mental coaching, mental change, a psychic change in the way that you think, and to stop that self-sabotage and to be able to bring into existence those things that are in your heart and you would want in your life. And I have somebody who can actually give you a roadmap. Here's what she says. If you would tell her what you want, she will give you the path to get there. I think that's amazing. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life. For me, this may be the most significant, to actually see some change in the way that my mind thinks, in the way that my subconscious thinks. I'm really excited to see the impact on my business, right? Do a lot more loans, help people get into houses, nicer cars, financial wellness, 6 to 9 months worth of reserves. I think in order to get organizations to do that right, we need to get a little bit deeper into the way that their team thinks, the way that their team feels. So I want to make this available to everyone that I work with and those in my community. Reach out to me. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy your leftovers.